by the opening remarks of someone whom we consider as the main mover of this movement, the father of this gathering today, Sir Herman U. Laurel. Sir?
Maraming salamat sa Ambeg, maraming salamat sa John Ines. And I find the
Other.
testing. Okay, now it's very clear. Good morning ulit, mga kasama dito sa Cebu and nationwide. We have also our guests from Cagayan de Oro and you Contreras is with us, and of course our Muslim brothers and our regular members dito sa ating movement. I find the opening remarks or the introductory remarks of Jun Alines very insightful, citing history, 500 years of conflict and war brought on by colonialism, imperialism. So medyo nagbigay na si Jusimo ng isang historical perspective sa nangyayari. Ano ang significance itong araw na to at tayo nagtitipon dito? Pag-usapan natin gera. Dito po sa audience nito at yan sa ating international audience kasi we're on Facebook, YouTube, live. Tanong ko, ano ang pinaka-signifikante sa araw na to, September 2, sa kasaysayan ng sangkatawan or humanity? Any volunteer? Ano? World War II. Wala po siguro sa ating nakaranas po ng World War II dito dahil we're all after post-World War II babies tayo. Kahit ako siguro, one of the older members of the group today, I did not witness World War II, but I hear a lot of stories about it. Probably our oldest member today is Kato Pagdinawan, who's 76 or 77. Benji Contreras from Cagayan de Oro, 76. I'm 74. So today, the world is remembering the end of World War II. Nung formally nag-surrender ang Imperial Japan on board USS Missouri battleship po ng Estados Unidos at nagpirmahan ng surrender terms ng Japan. Why are we going to talk about it too? Dito sa ating forum itong araw na to. Kasi yung mga gera sa mundo, hindi po yan nangyayaring basta-basta. Hindi basta-basta may away daw. Kasi maraming away na ayos, na areglo, napapag-usapan. Meron talagang may gusto ng gera. At yan ating ibubulgar itong araw na to. Kaya ako, magbibigay po ako ng kasaysayan ng ating peace movement. Bakit tayo may pangatlong taon ng mga activities dito sa pagtitipon? Mamaya papakita ko po na tayo ay nagsimula sa isang caravan mula sa Manila hanggang Tubigaraw, Cagayan Province sa norte, Cagayan Province na pinakamalapit sa Taiwan. Bakit tayo pumunta doon with 100 people after rallies in Manila, pickets in Manila, protesting war, calling for an end to all wars, calling for the rejection of the U.S. military base in the Philippines, and so on. Bakit? Kasi nakapalapit tayo sa gera noong 2023. I will explain that further. But we went to Cagayan Province sa norte. Bakit doon? Dahil may dalawang U.S. military bases po doon. Isabela, meron. Of course, Central Luzon, meron. And Cebu, may U.S. military air base po ngayon sa Cebu. We don't think about it. Pero baka dumating na at palapit na ang araw na yan ay ibobomba ng kalaban ng Amerika na ang gamit ay Pilipino sa gera nila. Yan ang ating pag-uusapan. Kaya ito'y totoong problema ng bawat isa sa atin dito at yung mga nasa labas na nakikinig po sa atin. This is a real problem. But up to now, ang mga problema ng mga diarya natin, yung corruption and so on, may connection din yung nakikita natin corruption sa Kongreso. Sa Senado nung nakaraan. Sabi ko nakaraan dahil we're putting some better hopes sa 20th Senate with the new senators that we are beginning to see performing. Dahil po mga kaalyado din po natin yung mayan. Maraming Duterte senators ang nanalo. And they're doing their job now. But, sasabihin na siguro ng iba, itong si Herman Q. Nolan, nananakot lang ito. Huwag niyong seryosohin yung mga pagbabala tungkol sa gera. Malayo yan. So I want to show you my first slide. Yun, nandiyan na ba?
Yes, sir.
Ako pa itong line.
Yes, sir.
Alam po ninyo, Newsweek is a very, very popular, very, very old, by maybe 50 years old na itong diary or more. Newsweek. Yung nakakulang letters na yan, Newsweek. Anong headline itong Newsweek ng issue ng July 15, 2025? July 15 lang po. Ano sabi niya? US allied Philippines gears up for China war. American report yan. Bakit? Na ayos na ng Amerikano. Hinahanda na tayo, which I will show you sa gera. Sino dito magtaas kayo ng kamay na nagsusubaybay o alam yung mga nangyayari sa Ukraine war? Please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Marami. Yung Ukraine war, nasasabi ko nga sa article ko, ang Pilipinas ay ginagawang Ukraine din ng Amerika. And so we must really take this seriously. We must take physical action to stop that war. Because we are at the stage in history where forever peace can now be real, yung kapayapaan, walang hanggan. Kasi po tayo galing sa, sabi nga ni Ka June Abines kanina, 500 years of forever war. Galing sa mga kanlurang, mga imperialista, kolonyalista. Sinakop ang Pilipinas, sinakop ang mga bahagi ng China, sinakop ang Indonesia, sinakop ang Malaysia, sinakop ang Africa, sinakop ang Middle East. And for 500 years, sila ang namayagpag. But the world today, Asia, tayo, mula sa Asia, we're beginning to change this world, this history. We are beginning to introduce a new economy to the global situation. We'll discuss more. Pero ano ang reaksyon ng ilang mga liderato natin sa Pilipinas led by President Bongbong Marcos? Ito ang kanyang Philippine Navy spokesman, si Trinidad. AFP slams deputy's remarks by some ex-generals on the West Philippine Sea stand. Sinasabi niya na kasi mayroong mga retired generals na nagsasabi ng sinasabi ko ngayon. Delikado ang sitwasyon, yung West Philippine Sea issue, ginagamit lang yan para maitanim sa isip at puso ng mga Pilipino na kalaban ng China. Totoo ba yun? Yes or no? Sino nagsabing yes? Baka nahiya kayo taas ng kamay. Sino nagsasabing no? Taas ng kamay. Well, I will not demand an answer yet. We will go on with our narrative. So, meron mga liderato tayo na sinasabi, hindi, walang delikado sa nangyayari ngayon. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. Yang West Philippine Sea na inaatupag ng ating medyang malalaki, ng ating gobyerno, ni Commodore Tariela, Hindi po problema talaga yan. Ginagawa nilang problema. Sadya po nilang ginagawang problema. Dahil, alam po ninyo, panahon ni Duterte, malinaw ang usapan ng China at ng Pilipinas na magkakaroon ng China and Philippines sign oil and gas exploration deal as Xi Jinping meets Rodrigo Duterte. So, kung may agawan dyan sa South China Sea na tinatawag ng Pilipinas naman na parte ng West Philippine Sea, madali pong masoldo yan na panalo ang China, ang Pilipinas at ibang mga claimants yan, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, sino pa bang nakakalimutan ko? Brunei. Puro may claim dyan eh. Yung ibang mga bansa, wala namang away sa China, walang away sa atin. Baka tayo nang-away sa China? Kung ito this is 2017, nung nagpirmahan dito, itong ulat, this report is November 2018 pa. O nagkasundo na. 60% para sa Pilipinas, 40% para sa China. Ang China ang mamumuhunan sa lahat. Paano ba tayo doon? Pareho. Papayabang pa ang ating region. Okay. So may solusyon. And I'll go back a bit to history also to show you that solution, even Marcos Sr. 40 years ago, had it already in mind. Let's go to the next slide. In 1975, si Marcos pumunta sa China, nakipagpirmahan with Mao Zedong, Deng Xiaoping, ng recognition ng People's Republic of China. How many of us here remember that? Puro mga bata pa kayo eh. Kami ni Kaado, ni Benji Contreras, and maybe some of our senior people like Rico Osmeña and so on will remember this. No? Pero at the same time, 1975 lang po, nag-claim ang Pilipinas ng Scottish Island. We are the latest to claim anything in the South China Sea. Kasi under tayo ng Amerikano kasi nung matagal na panahon, so we were not involved in any claiming of territory and so on. So anyway. So while Marcos was claiming territory, kinakaibigan niya ang China. Bakit? Ang objective niya sa mag-claim ng territory, makipag-usap sa ibang mga claimants later para nga magkaroon ng sharing agreement. Di ba? That's why Marcos did that. Pero ngayon, parang pinabalas ng Philippine government, walang sharing agreement, wala. Kailangan pumunta tayo sa Scarborough Shoal, ipanatili yung ERP siya naman sa Ayungin Shoal. Baka hindi kayo familiar din sa mga geography ng mga areas niyan. As we go along, maybe I can explain more to you. So yan ang solusyon. Win-win para sa lahat. Let's go to the next slide. Pero bakit hindi natuloy yun? Maayos na, 60-40, 60% for the Philippines, 40% for China. Everybody happy. Pero alam natin po, sa ating Philippine politics at government at civil society na sinasabi nila, maraming American proxies. Ito, Secretary of Foreign Affairs ni Rodrigo, contradicted the order of President Duterte to ensure that oil and gas agreement is implemented. In the last month ng Duterte administration, in 2022, huling buwan na ng kanyang administrasyon, naglabas si Terry Boy Locsin ng anunsyo na hindi naman nanggaling talaga kay Presidente Duterte na Philippines terminated oil exploration talks with China. I will show you more American agents operating within our system. But malinaw po yan. So let's go to the next slide. Sino ang nasa likod po nitong pagsira po ng ating relasyon sa China, dito sa pagsira dun sa oil and gas exploration deal with China? si Manuel Pangilinan. Oh, negosyante lang yan. Hindi po yan negosyante, empleyado yan ng kumpanyang malalaki ng kanluran. Yun ang totoo, may tumatawag sa akin. Okay. Kasi itong ebidensya na sa tingin ni Manny Pangilinan, nandito siya sa likod ng lahat ng mga pangyayari, nakatago siya. Nasa anino siya, sa shadow. Pero in 2014, inalok niya ang Spratlys na China kapalit ng oil and gas prospects galing sa Lead Bank or ating Recto Bank na tinatawag. So actually, he feels that he has the power to represent the government to negotiate and deal with China. Eh today, bakit hindi niya narinig itong mga kinikwento ko? He controls Inquirer. He controls Philippine Star. He controls TV5 and many other media. Eh yung ibang media, ABS-CBN, mga oligarchs din yan. Kasabot din yan ng Western financial powers. Kaya, kung babasahin natin Inquirer, Philippine Star, Rappler, and so on, puro kalaban ni Duterte. Bakit? Kasi si Duterte talagang independent, si Sara Duterte din siyempre, independent foreign policy, neutral sila dapat, nakikipag-ugnay sa Russia, China, Amerika kung kailangan para makinabang ng Pilipinas. Ayaw ng Amerikano yan. You are under us, you Filipinos. Yun ang attitude ng Amerikano. At ito po ay dami lang po ng Western powers. Yan. But he controls the mind of many people in the country because they control malalaking media. Let's go to the next slide. Another American operator, alam mo, patriotic, Lisa Hontiveros. So, sino ang kausap niya dyan? You don't know him. O, parang sweet, ano pa siya. If you can see the eyes of Lisa, parang nakikipag-flirt pa siya sa Amerikano nito. Nagpapa-interview sa itong Amerikano lang yan. Baka media man lang yan. Let's go to the next slide. Anyway, alam naman natin, kilala natin kung anong pinagagawa ni Lisa Hontiveros lately. Dito, sobrang maliit ang characters, hindi niyo mabasa. But tuwa siya dun sa kidnapping kay Presidente Duterte. Sabi niya, justice daw for the EJK and so on and so forth. So this is an American plan talaga to kidnap Rodrigo Duterte, to try to impeach Sara Duterte, which we will continue to explain. Okay, the next slide will explain to you why I'm showing Lisa and that American. That American who was interviewing him is Raymond Powell, former Colonel U.S. Air Force. Colonel Raymond Powell is concluding the 35-year career of the U.S. Air Force in 2021 and so on and so forth. Si Raymond Powell ang nagbibigay din ng instruction kay Commodore Tariela. Narinig niyo yung pangalan ng Commodore Tariela. Southwest Philippine Sea, si Tariela ang nagsasalita. Doon sa Kongreso, yung TRICOM ba, pinatawag ng kasama namin si Ado Paglinawan. Ado, can you stand and be recognized? Ado, stand and be recognized. Stand and be recognized. Ito po si Ado Paglinawan. Pinatawag sa TRICOM sa Kongreso. Ang nag-arrange ng mga pagkatawag sa kanya ay si Tariela. At yung mga congressman na pinilit sana na lipitin si Ado, umatras dahil wala silang alam sa issue ng West Philippine Sea na master ni Ado. At sino ang mga kakampon ni Tariela doon sa hearing na yon sa TRICOM sa Kongreso? Si Abante. Kilala niyo si Abante? Yes. Yung peking pastor. Marami po tayo sabihin tungkol kay Abante na talagang sobrang. Yan ang specimen ng kriminal. Yes. Talagang nabubuhay sa korupsyon. Si Dan Fernandez, yan din kasama din sa kontratista. Mga kontratista. Sino ba?
Barbers.
the barbers nandoon, no? And so on. So, anyway, yan, mga Amerikano, lantaran with our Philippine Senator Risa Ontiveros, openly mag-i-interview, tapos magka-accuse sila, may Chinese spy dito, Chinese spy network, and so on, Chinese sleeper spy. Si Lacson, di ba lately, sinasabi naman may Chinese sleepers network, Risa Ontiveros din. 2020 pa, sinasabi nila na may Chinese spy network, 5 taon na nakaraan, ni isang espiya, wala po silang napapakita. Kasi pananakot lang yan para magalit ang Pilipino daw sa China. Yan ang strategy ng Amerikano. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, this is a change in, emphasis naman today. Habang ang ating nakikita na selebrasyon ng 80th anniversary of the end of World War II, yung interpretasyon na ating natutuhan sa American history na tinatranslate as Philippine history din is that America won the Second World War in Europe and in Asia. Kaya kung pinapakita po today ito, meron din celebration sa Beijing, China ng end of World War II with Putin, Russian President, attending. At today is the last day of the meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Ito, maraming paliwanag ito, but I will try to compress it. No? Ang significant po ng Shanghai Cooperation Organization sa Tianjin, China. Tapos from Tianjin, China, sila Putin ay pupunta sa Beijing for the celebration tomorrow, September 3, ng Victory Day. Okay. So, today, sa Shanghai Cooperation Organization, nagkikita, nagpupulong, nagmi-meeting, Xi Jinping ng China, President Putin ng Russia, Prime Minister Modi ng India, at si President Pezeshkian ng Iran. Because these four powers are organizing the new world that we hope will be the world of forever peace. Ayaw ng Amerikano yan. Dahil ang Amerikano nabubuhay sa, which I will show you later on, sa gera. Ang pinakamalaking earning industry nila ay the defense industry. Kaya dito sa Pilipinas, hirap na nga tayo. Ang utang natin is already 17 trillion pesos. Pero gusto ng Amerikano, dumating kasi last May, si Pete Hegseth, US Defense Secretary, na sinasabi, hindi, kailangan bumili kayo ng armas ng Amerika. Kailangan palakihin ninyo ang defense budget niyo para mas maraming F-16, F-A-50, etc. na bilhin kayo ninyo sa Amerika. Sa gitna ng corruption natin, sa gitna ng kagutuman natin, they want us to buy more weapons. And so, this complements yung kanilang propaganda na pananakot sa China, na China is an enemy, therefore you have to buy more arms from America, and so on and so forth. Alam niyo yung story. Ito po ay mapa from last decade pa, 10 years ago, 12, 15 years ago. These are American bases surrounding Asia and China. Yan. All the way to Guam, Marianas Islands, may mga bases sila. At ang Pilipinas, binalik nila ang bases din dito. When our 1986 Constitution, Article 18, Section 25, basahin niyo, balikan niyo, if you want to be very clear about it, na pinagbabawal ang foreign military bases and troops in the Philippines. Why do we have 9 military bases in the Philippines today of the U.S. and unknown number of troops in the Philippines today? Yan po ang mga tanong na dapat natin tinatanong din. Let's move on to the next one. So I'm timing myself, baka sobrang umaba at naantok na kayo sa akin kinikwento. So I'm showing now Ukraine. The cost of war, this is the section in my prepared presentation. The cost of war. And ito po, ang haharapin po ng Pilipinas if we do not stop this proxy war the Americans is pushing us into, in collaboration with Bongbong Marcos and some military proxy leaders ng American military. The Ukraine war started only 2022, February, di ba? February 2022. 22, 23, 24, 25. 3.5 years. 1.7 million Ukrainian soldiers are dead. 1.7 million. Ang ratio ng dead of Ukrainian soldiers to Russian soldiers is 1 to 18, 1 to 19.
Wow.
In the last prisoner dead bodies exchange of Russia and Ukraine, Russia received 100 dead bodies from the Ukrainian side. The Ukraine received 1,700 dead bodies from the Russian side. Pero tulak pa rin ng tulak ang European Union, NATO, and so on sa Ukraine. Sige, laban kayo. We'll supply missiles, we'll supply arms. Yan ang ginagawa sa atin. Gusto mag-supply ng kung ano sa atin. Next slide. Here is an example of the cost of the American wars using a proxy. In this case, this is Afghanistan. You all know Afghanistan war, di ba? Yan, everybody, kasi 20 years yan eh. Anong cost of it to Ukraine? From before the war in Afghanistan ng Amerikano, 2001, ito ang statistics, no? Yun after the war in 2022 nung nagsilabasan ng mga Amerikano nagsialisan. Percentage of Afghans facing food insecurity, yung nagugutom before 2001, before the invasion of the Americans, 62%. In 2022, 92% of Afghans are in hunger. Ganyan po ang epekto ng gera. Percentage of children under 5 experiencing acute malnutrition before 2000 invasion of Afghanistan, only 9%. Kahit na mahirap na bansa, 9% lang ang malnourished na mga bata. In 2022, 50% of children are malnourished. That is the cost of war. And finally, percentage of Afghans living in poverty, 80% in 2000, before 2001, 97% after 2022. Kasi wala namang nananalo sa gera, kundi yung arms manufacturer ng Amerika. Let's go to the next slide. Now, ano pang ebidensya kailangan natin? May US bases na. Tapos dinagdagan pa ng Amerikano ng Typhoon missile systems. And ang ating AFP, sinasabi, AFP on possible arrival of second Typhoon missile, the more the merrier. So natutuwa ang AFP. Paano ikatutuwa to have more missiles? Ikatutuwa natin kung matigil din ang corruption sa Kongreso. Pero missiles, hindi lang po yan. I don't know if the next slide is about the Nemesis missile. Hindi. Ito yung ating first anti-war peace Congress na. But before that, I would explain. After Typhoon missile, may dinagdag ng missile na naman ngayon, Nemesis missile. And all these are nuclear capable. Pwedeng magkata ng nuclear weapons. Lalo-lalo na yung Typhoon missile system na pwedeng mag-launch ng cruisers. Anong tawag doon? Tomahawk cruisers. 2,500 kilometers ang distansya ang abot. So parts of North Korea, parts of Russia, parts of China. And that is why in 2024, I think just last year, si Putin nag-warning that itong mga missiles will make the Philippines, put the Philippines in the crosshairs, the target ng Russian defense systems. So, let's go back to February 2023 is the first Congress that we called to discuss the anti-war against the proxy war, no to EDCA, and now to joint patrols, 2023. Bakit 2023 February? Kasi February 2023, Bongbong Marcos made a secret deal with America to expand the military bases in the Philippines and to collaborate with America for the anti-China proxy war. Anong sumunod doon? After February 23, investigation daw ng POCO, investigation kay Sara, kidnapping of Rodrigo Duterte, yung impeachment ni Sara, lahat para matanggal ang posibilidad na makabalik ang independent foreign policy, na makabalik ang neutrality ng Pilipinas, at tayo ay matali sa American proxy war. So this is the first Congress, and now I will go into, this will not be more than 5 minutes anymore, baka I will overshot my time. So next slide natin. So this is the first mass rally in Tuguegarao, Cagayan Province sa Norte. So we had 6 vehicles, 1 bus, travel from Manila after the rallies in Manila, in Bulacan, visit to the statue of General Luna in Sabera, and then to Tuguegarao, where there are 2 U.S. military bases. And it was big because we had the collaboration of Governor Mamba at that time. Next slide. Ito naman sa Cagayan de Oro, yung lugar ni Benedicto Contreras, si Tess Dael Padla. We also had quite a good Congress there. This was in February this year. Next slide. This is Tuguegarao, si Kaado, with Governor Mamba. I was not able to ride with them because I got sick at that time. So next slide. This is now our Cebu. Last year, August 9, dito din sa Cebu, dito din sa Sacred Heart last year. And then inuulit natin ngayon, September 2. Kasi nga, we wanted this anniversary, 80th anniversary of the Second World War, to be commemorated also, that we're commemorating the end of war, World War II. And we are commemorating the beginning of the end of all wars. We should not have wars again in the world, with humanity. And of course, uulitin ko lang yung ilang beses na sinabi ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Philippine Sara Duterte warns against Marcos's Congonga, US Bible, leaning on foreign powers. At sabi ni Vice President urged Manila to pursue an independent foreign policy, arguing it should not cling to either the US or China. Hindi naman tayo kumakapit sa China. Wala namang military base ang China dito. Yung sinasabi nilang sleeper cells ng Chinese spies, 5 years na, ni isang kuko ng Chinese spy, wala. Pinapakita yung mga nasasabi na may Chinese spies dito sa Rizal, Lacson, o kung sino man. So, we want to wake the Filipino nation up today to this campaign of ours. Eventually, we must remove the American Mutual Defense Treaty. And by the way, kahapon nagsimula si Senator Amy Marcos na buksan ang investigasyon na doon sa mga nangyari sa pagbabalik ng military bases and all these proxy war policies and so on. So let us do our part as citizens. Dito sa labas ng Senado, tayo naman may gagawin po. Magtutulungan tayo, magpaliwanag ng mga issues. Magtatawag po tayo ng mga meetings na ganito. Especially the Cebu Media, the Cebu Press Club is already organizing the Journalists for Peace. So this must be part of our life, the struggle to ensure forever peace. Maraming salamat po.
Once again, everyone, Mr. Herman Chu, daghang salamat, sir. We are just getting started, everyone.